Are carbs really the enemy? Do you really need to follow a zero carb diet? Here's the thing, there's so much bad advice on this topic. And the truth is, it's not about the carb alone, it's how you eat the carb. In this video, I'm gonna share with you how to eat carbohydrates the right way so that you can burn fat, balance your blood sugar, and also live a better life. Stick around to the end because I'm gonna share with you information that doctors never tell you about. So let's dive in, but before we do, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. It's a pleasure being in another video with you today. Let's make sure that you have the proper information to eat healthy so that your body can thrive. Now, whenever you eat carbs, here's something that's very important to do. You need to make sure that you're eating your carbs after protein and fats. There's a reason for this. The reason is because when you eat your carbs first, what happens is you end up with a lot of blood sugar spikes, and blood sugar spikes that happen very rapidly. And when you eat protein and healthy fats first, what this is going to do is slow digestion, and it's going to buffer the glucose response. There's a randomized controlled trial, and what they did is they looked at people with diabetes who ate protein and veggies first. So if they ate their proteins and veggies first, what they found is that they had a 41% lower glucose spike when they were eating, and they also had a 31% lower insulin spike when they were eating. So this is very important. Eat your proteins and your fats first, and then your carbohydrates after. So an example of this, instead of eating fruit or oatmeal first thing in the morning, eat some eggs and potentially a protein shake. And this is gonna really help stabilize your blood sugar so that you have more success throughout the day with stabilizing the blood sugar, the insulin, and also making sure that it doesn't drive you to have cravings as well as you go on through the rest of the day, potentially causing you to overeat. Now, the next thing that you can do is use a compound found directly in nature. This is known as berberine. Now, berberine is very powerful. It's been shown to help promote satiation so that you eat less. It's also been shown to help lower your blood sugar and prevent blood glucose spikes. What I recommend is that you actually would utilize berberine about 20 minutes before a meal. When you take the berberine 20 minutes before the meal, it's going to help you eat less at that meal, which then can lead to more fat burning, more weight loss, but also it's going to help you balance your blood sugar and your insulin levels when you eat so that you don't get spikes. So what you want to do is make sure you're using specific berberine that can be absorbed well, because this is very important. Many people hear berberine and they think it's all the same. I tell people all the time, clinically, we use berberine for weight loss. We use it for insulin resistance. We use it for gut health. There's so many ways that you can use berberine. So in this particular case, you want to use the proper berberine. So for any of you who are looking for that extra edge on how do I balance my blood sugar? How do I support satiation? How do I keep the spikes low and also make sure that I'm promoting fat burning in my body? You can utilize berberine. It's very easy. And what I'll do is I'll put a link to a formula called berberine ER that we use clinically, which is very supportive of keeping your blood sugar balanced. And I'll put that link in the description below. Now, moving on to the next really big thing that you can do whenever you're eating carbohydrates, and that's pairing your carbs with protein and fat. Now, we talked already that you want to make sure you eat your protein and fat first, but the other big factor is just pairing them together. Never eat what's known as, in the research, as naked carbs. When you add protein or fat, essentially what you're going to do is buffer that blood glucose spike. There's a meta-analysis of 154 trials, and what they showed is that adding protein to a carb can reduce glucose spikes by up to 50%. And when you add fat to a meal that has carbohydrates, it's been shown to also reduce glucose and insulin spikes. So let me give you an example. If you're going to eat an apple, you can have it with a nut butter on it, and that'll help buffer that glucose spike. If you're going to eat a potato, you could put olive oil or butter on it. That will buffer that glucose spike. If you're going to eat, let's say, oats, you could actually go and pair it with a protein powder or even chia seeds, which is going to help buffer it. So there is another way, yet you can actually buffer that blood glucose and insulin spike in your body, which ultimately leads to things like inflammation, weight gain, and also increasing your appetite, causing a lot of cravings for more sugar and things that are ultimately going to drive your health down a bad direction. Now, here's a really, really important factor, and one that is probably never looked at enough as something that you should be doing in order to really support blood sugar balance so that you can burn fat and so that you can get your diet under control. And that is move after you eat. This is so important. Now, your muscles are going to use glucose for energy. And what's interesting is that the muscles in your legs, well, they're a metabolic powerhouse. They will soak up a ton of glucose in your bloodstream very quickly. So a 20 to 30 minute walk after a carb-heavy meal can blunt this blood glucose spike dramatically. In fact, I recommend going for a 20 to 30 minute walk after every meal. If you are eating lunch and you're at work, I recommend you eat lunch and you go for a walk. After dinner at night, I recommend you grab your family, go for a walk. Grab your dog and go for a walk. But that walk is very important. Even light movement is better than doing nothing at all. So if you eat and then you go and watch TV, well, let me tell you, your blood sugar is running wild. So therefore, if you get up and move, you're going to dramatically lower your blood sugar and work to prevent insulin resistance. Now, another thing that is very important, we talked about moving directly after a meal, but here's something that is important that you can do too. And this is timing your carbs appropriately. This is something I think about a lot. So for instance, your body is going to handle carbs best when your muscles are insulin sensitive. Well, what does this mean? This means typically after an exercise. So therefore, if you're going to eat carbs throughout the day, you can also time them around the time that you're going to be exercising or you know you're going to the gym. And that is when glucose is used efficiently for energy and recovery instead of being stored as fat or just throwing you tremendous blood glucose spikes and driving insulin resistance in your body. So some of the best times to actually eat your carbohydrates are going to be around that activity. I actually like to eat carbohydrates at nighttime as well. I will tell you why. Because carbohydrates can actually help you sleep better at night, and they also are going to promote you getting tired, okay? So therefore, if you eat carbs first thing in the morning, you're gonna have a long day ahead of you. If you eat carbs for lunch, you're probably gonna feel that drag in the afternoon. If you eat carbs at night and it activates that parasympathetic nervous system, then what you're going to find is it makes you tired, it makes you sleepy, and it can promote better quality sleep, okay? Because the thing is that we have to understand about this entire conversation, carbs are not inherently evil. They play a purpose in the body. Anybody who says that carbs have no purpose in the body, they're absolutely wrong. They play a huge role in your quality of sleep. They play a huge role in your hormones. They play a role in your physical activity. They play a role in your brain function and so much more. So therefore, making sure that you're utilizing them appropriately is very beneficial. Here's another factor that I think you'll find very interesting as to how you can avoid blood sugar spikes from carbohydrates, and that is using vinegar, okay? A tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before a meal can not only suppress appetite, which is helpful because many people are looking to suppress appetite in order to lose weight so they can burn fat, come into that calorie deficit, right? But a 1 to 2 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar dose before a meal can actually reduce blood sugar spikes by as much as 20 to 30%, which is huge. It's going to slow stomach emptying and also improve the insulin sensitivity response. And therefore, it's going to help you eat less. It's going to help you balance your blood sugar. Now, we also have to be very cognizant of this, and it is choosing your carbohydrates in a very intelligent manner, okay? We live in a world where we are taught to believe that all these foods at the grocery store are okay, that they're, fine if you're eating them in moderation. But the problem is many of these foods are ultra processed. Not to mention they have many ingredients in them that will wreck your metabolism. Artificial food dyes, a whole bunch of artificial ingredients and flavorings. Truth is that they're not healthy for you at all, beyond the fact that they have ultra processed flours and lots of sugar and corn syrup and many other things in them. So therefore, when we're choosing our carbohydrates, we want to think less of eating white bread, white pasta, pastries, sugary cereals, cookies and juices, and we want to think more about eating things like sweet potatoes, quinoa, lentils, and beans. We want to look at eating berries that are micronutrient dense, that have a low glycemic index. If we're going to eat breads, we want to think about eating a bread like sourdough, which is going to have a far less glycemic index as it's fermented. It's almost pre-digested for you in a sense because of the fermentation process. Instead of eating, let's say, instant oatmeal, we want to eat steel-cut oats. We want to make sure that we're making better choices with our carbohydrates. So not only can we time our carbs better, can we pair our carbs up with proper foods, can we make sure that we're eating our proteins and fats first and our carbs last? We can also choose better carbohydrates, okay? We can also use compounds that are found in nature, like berberine. And the reason that this is so powerful is because many people are turning to all types of pharmaceuticals in order to help them lower their blood sugar, burn fat, and ultimately, and assumingly get the health that they hope to have. Unfortunately, many of those dreams using these different products are all lost within the first year, as most people who lose weight or solve their insulin resistance utilizing them only get it all back within the first year of utilizing that pharmaceutical. So therefore, actually getting to the root cause, solving the problem through better eating, through nutritional compounds like berberine, and also making sure that you're making better choices through how you're eating is going to be the ultimate way to solve your weight loss problems, your blood sugar problems, and all of the metabolic health conditions that come thereafter, such as high cholesterol, fatty liver, high blood pressure, and so much more. I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. I hope you found this information incredibly valuable. If you enjoyed this, I know that you're going to enjoy this video over here next.